Hey, Rachel Mallis, happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday.
If you don't, if you don't know Rachel Mallis, she is a marvelous jewelry designer, a lovely friend of mine. We've known each other for many years now, actually, and I feel like we've gotten to meet in person at least three times now. Three plus or minus.
Um, yeah, I think so. I think three,
Yeah, I just got because if you
maybe
caught
more.
class,
I don't remember.
if you caught class like 2 weeks ago,
hmm
I was in New York and Rachel and I did class from her rooftop, which was gorgeous. It was so windy and gorgeous, and I loved it. I want every class to be out in the sunshine.
The
Uh,
sun gave me a rash, actually. I sent you a picture, I
are you
think. No, I
allergic to
sent
the sun?
Shira a picture. I was
I
like,
did
well,
not get a picture of your
it
rash.
won't be sunny for that long, so it'll be fine. And so I did not put any sunscreen on, and I had like this huge rash all over my chest. Next day. Yes, I am allergic to the sun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a fun class. We did the earrings that Rachel's wearing right now, actually, which have so much movement and beauty designed around the roses, which we custom designed for the April Samsby box that we designed with the Rachel Mallis. So fun to get to work on a box with you, Rachel, and I still am loving every single bit of how the box came out. There's just so much to discover in the box. So I'm so glad we're going to do another class with it. And I
Yeah,
love that Rachel has like so many ideas to share today. Like today
I
is
do.
packed with ideas. So definitely stick around if you're looking for some inspiration with your April box. What are your I don't want to jump in too quickly. What's going on in your life, Rachel? What's happening?
What is happening? Well, today I went to the post office.
Do you
Not
still take
anything
your packages
incredibly
to the post
exciting
office yourself?
because we're in a fight with my management company about how we don't have doormen, so the USPS is not
Oh,
picking
you
up
told me about
packages
this.
anymore. So I have to take them to the post office.
It's we actually we take all of our packages these days too, because
I mean, the post
ever
office is like a 5-minute walk, so it's
yeah,
really, it could be way worse.
it's just a little activity. Do you have any shows coming up that folks should know about?
This weekend we're doing a Pantone show tomorrow where we each were like assigned a Pantone color from their spring summer line.
Cool.
And we all just did one thing. So that'll be fun to see. And then Sunday, we have a show that is planetarily inspired.
Ooh.
And then next week, I have a show that is inspired by the designer Alexander McQueen.
Oh, cool. So how does one find your shows?
My shows are all in Rainbow Gems Gift Shop, which is here on Facebook. Well, I guess we're on YouTube too. It's not on YouTube, just on Facebook. And you can also sign up for my semi-monthly newsletter on my website, which is mallyjewelry.com.
Sweet. Awesome. I think it's time to jump into some beading if you're ready.
Yeah.
Do you want to? I'll let you flip.
Yeah, I'm gonna like flip my camera around, right?
Sweet.
All right, 1 second. I always forget how to do it.
Are you flipping it around within StreamYard? Oh, look at you go.
All right. So we've got a few different projects today. You've seen me looking down. I was trying to figure out where my triangle tray went to dump some of these beads in, but it has, it's taking a little break. Don't know where it went. Okay, so we've got this bracelet, which I'm just going to show you the basic technique. Sorry, where is the camera? There we go.
Oh, everything's turned. I think you might need to rotate your phone. Aha.
I just showed you my messy desk. Sorry, y'all.
Mine's worse.
I was wondering why it looks so weird. But so we got this bracelet. It looks so much better now. It's incredible.
Oh, like all the tulips and the leaves and the sea beads. Oh, this is great.
It has so much fun movement.
I love that you
which
also
is what I wanted.
Introducing top drill beads in such a nice way.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been very anti-brio wrapping lately. Anytime I have to wrap a brio, I'm like, why did you do this to yourself?
But you're like the queen of brio wraps, Rachel.
I know. I go in and out of phases of liking them and hating them.
I think other folks might relate to that.
Yeah. And then we've got the necklace, which is mostly like free form stitching, and then like I did this really cool stitching on the donut, which is what I'm going to show you, and then we will also play with some wire in the donuts. And if you were on the unboxing with Sam and I, you will have heard that these triangle pendants, I was making a really big case for getting them drilled down here, and Sam was like, that's way harder to work with. And I was like, all right, well, I don't sell beads, I use them, so I can't say what your face is gonna like better, so I'm gonna go with what you say. But after that, I was like, I've got to find a way to wrap it so that it'll hang the way that I want it to. So
and it's actually even, I think it's even cooler because you have like, it looks like it's wrapped in like metalsmith metal. I love that look, has like an encased look to it.
Oh. Yeah, and then we'll also be able to put a loop on the bottom, so it'll be almost like a connector.
Ooh, I can't wait to see how that works. Lots of ideas today. So where are we starting?
I think we're going to start with the bracelet. So for the bracelet, I used the feather leaves, of course. So good.
Like the first thing we picked out for the box, I feel like.
I know. I love the feather leaves. They're so pretty. The tulips, tulip mix. And then onyx, of course. I've got more onyx, but this is what I have right now. And the seed beads, which is right here. I took them out of the tube because I'm really bad with the tubes. They explode everywhere. I guess I'm too aggressive with them.
Well, I don't know. There was something about this tube especially. It was so full that every time I open it, it just goes wee, beads everywhere.
Yeah, there's a little bit of chaos. So yeah.
Ooh,
so
is this your brass wire?
Yes, this is brass wire.
You have me so inspired.
I've actually been having a lot of fun with the brass, which is so funny because I literally didn't start using brass until probably last year.
It's such a nice way to get that golden feel more inexpensively.
Mm-hmm.
So
actually recently I learned, red brass is way better. Yellow brass is
not recommended.
A little bit sickly looking in my personal opinion. I could show you the difference actually, because I bought that first and I was like, oh. Okay. This is yellow brass. You can't see it that great on camera, but the red brass is just warmer. This is like almost neon.
Oh, wow.
It's just not my favorite. And the red brass goes with a lot more components because most people actually don't like the yellow brass, so they don't make components out of them.
Yeah, I don't think I ever see that.
But when I bought it, I was like, oh, red brass, what is that, like copper? So I got the yellow and I was like, I've made an error.
Well, I'm glad you've shared with us, so we won't make that error now. Thank you so much, Rachel Mallis.
All right, so we are going to be making a knotted head pin. Of course, if you have like ball head pins, you can use them. I don't buy a lot of head pins. Not for any particular reason other than I can control the temper of the wire and the finish of the wire a little bit more if I just make them myself.
All right, we got our first knotted head pin alert, so maybe on the next one you could give us a 101 on it.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So I am wrapping the wire around the tips of my round nose pliers. and I wrapped it around twice, and then I'm going to take the wire, and this is the way I do mine. Other ways work too, if you know another way. This is just the way that works for me. So I'm going to bend it that way, take it off, and then I'm coming through the loop. Got my what are these called? Nylon jaws, and just gonna slide them along until you've got your knot. This is a really long piece of wire. You may want to work on a smaller one. I like to cut like a really long piece and then gradually run out of it. I'm just cutting off that.
You kind of keep working from the same one.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Let's see, which one do I want to do? I've got like decision fatigue. There's so many pretty ones.
I know we put a lot of colors in this mix.
I know. Okay, so we're gonna string the flower on, and then we are going to put one of our beautiful little onyx on. I used onyx in every single project I did with this box.
Well, it's a good thing we did the full strand and then I brought you more.
Yes, that made me so happy. Okay, and then we're gonna make our loop. It's gonna be a wrapped loop. Now, the primary feature of this bracelet is that the flowers move around a lot because the loop is bigger than the seed beads that I have strung on here. So that's our main concern, is just making sure the loop is big enough. I feel like I have a tendency to make very tiny loops, and I don't think that's everybody, but I'm always at like the tip of my pliers, so I have to remind myself, make it a little bigger. So,
wait, so you want it bigger? So I'm trying to logically understand. So
you want the loop big enough to be able to not like sit in between the seed beads, but go over them.
So it can actually move fully between all those?
Yeah, these move. They move.
Oh, so you're actually intentionally creating some, it's like kind of a choice there if you want those to move or not, depending on the size of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know so much of your design philosophy is you like to know exactly what the outcome will be. I thought you were going to tell us to make our loop smaller.
No, I love my tiny loops though. I used to, those tiny pliers I had made the tiniest loops, and it was so amazing. I just can't get them as tiny with bigger pliers.
Laura's saying, how much trouble do you two get into New York? So we got to go to a taping together. So the class was Friday. We did the taping on Monday. Thank gosh, Rachel Mallis runs on time. She got us a great spot in line for Seth Meyers, the Seth Meyers savings, which, by the way, I don't even think Seth Meyers is on anymore because of the strike. So I think our timing was amazing.
That he is still paying his writers while they're on strike, though.
That's good.
Which is really nice.
So we went on Monday. Rachel got early in line. Then I joined her sprinting. She's like, you need to be here. I was like, I'm coming. And then we ended up sitting in with a second or third row.
We were so close to the front.
And it was
if I had
sorry, I don't want to distract you from your bracelet. I'm just telling a story while we're
I know. I'm like waiting for a pause so that I can, because
okay, I'll let you stop me whenever you need.
Loop. Okay, so we've got our wire in between our pliers, and it's not poking over. It's just in between them, and I'm just gonna. Whoa, that went a little crazy. I'm gonna loop it around, and then loop underneath it. I feel so like. Doing this makes me feel like the fanciest person, because I'm just like twisting my wrist. I'm like, I'm a maker. I'm a human machine. Anyway, so here's what it looks like, and I bent it to the right again. I don't know. I feel like
Are you saying you extra enjoying the crafting today?
Every time I make knotted headpins, I feel like I'm trying to think of a PC way to say what I'm trying to say. I
don't
just
know what you're trying
feel
to say.
like a really cool person
Okay.
when I do that. And this is red brass.
So how many of the flowers do we need versus
I use the whole bag.
Oh wow.
There's 16 of them, so that's what I had used. And you can really adjust this design based on wrist size and just use more seed beads in between. So it's like very, very easy to alter. So got my knotted head pin. I'm just gonna put another flower in. Let's get this white one. I like the white ones because it's like you got a sneak of white that they didn't get to paint red yet.
The unpainted
they
roses.
missed some. Their heads were gone. They couldn't finish. Okay, and then we're gonna bend, and where did this loop is giant, but it will work. Okay. I don't know where I picked up these pliers. All right, there we go. So I've got 2 of those, and I'll just really basically show you how to string it. I love that the holes on all of these are pretty big, so you can use medium soft wax, and you know what that means. That means that you can use the magical crimping
Here
pliers.
it comes. Which we just got back in stock at the shop again.
Do you want me to do the crimp?
Do the crimp. Yeah, do it.
Okay, let me go.
It's been a while since
Let
we've
me
shown
grab
it.
a crimp. They do take some getting used to, but I really prefer them to my regular crimping pliers. One day I will buy those Xeron crimping pliers because those look cool, but I am very cheap, and so I'm just gonna use medium for everything I possibly can until
You switched over though also because you liked that you could make the crimp bead into like an actual ball shape.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't crimp covers and I have such like a love-hate relationship. I like that they make the piece look cleaner, but I also don't love how they look. Like pulling out my little, I have like a bunch of little pieces of soft flex, but they're all like really little.
Little scraps.
Yeah, I saved my scraps. I always cut it, especially with soft flex. I always cut it a lot longer than I need it to be. I know some people work from the school, but I don't always design like that. So being able to cut it really long and just have a lot of extra, then that piece I can use for something else in the future.
That makes sense. Yeah, I also like to design just like often from the center.
All right, and I like to do my crimps without anything with them sometimes, so I'm gonna live on the wild side here. The medium soft flex bends really nicely so that it's really easy to crimp like this and still have a good size loop. So you center the bead in the crimp pliers. I'm trying to see if you got to center it in the hole. And this is a 2x2 crimp tube.
Is that a
That's
sterling
the most important
tube?
part. Yeah, this is a sterling one. Copper, but I have a lot more of the sterling ones. So. I recently found out, and I think I just ignored it when I read it in the listing before, the gold colored crimp tubes that come in their variety pack are actually gold fill, not brass like I thought. So
okay.
now I'm like, well, I don't want to use them with brass. They're too fancy. Okay, so I went around it a bunch of times, and now I have a little ball, and it's sturdy. I always I like to tug on them just in case. Sometimes they're not, if you didn't do it right, it's not the sturdiest. But that goes for all crimping. I tug on all my crimps, whether I use the magic crimping pliers or not. Just because I really don't want to chance anything breaking. Rather it break now than later. All right, let me move some of this out of the way. And we're just really quickly going to do the first little section.
Cool.
Just so you can see how it comes together. Got these and some seed beads. Let me see how many I used in between. I used 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I used 7 in between, and I will tell you how long this is. So if you use 7 in between, your beaded area, not including the clasp, will be almost 6 inches. So this whole thing together with my clasp that I just really quickly made is like a little over 6.5 inches, like 6 3/4 inches. So you might want to use more beads if you want it to be a little longer, more seed beads in between. So let's get our 7. 1, 2.
And once we do this section, someone was curious to see how it wears.
Oh yeah, I can put it on. I can maybe put it on. I am not good at putting on bracelets. I'm actually
It's so hard.
I am so bad at putting on bracelets. I forgot to string my leaf first. And also what I did with the leaves is I actually strung them so they have a curve to them. So when I strung them every other one a different way, if that makes sense. So like one going this way and the other one like with the concave. Just for a little extra interest. I thought it was fun.
Oh, what a subtle detail.
I'll show you again in a second.
You flip them over each time.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got that, and then I'm going to put my flowers on.
Yeah, Holly's saying she likes the crimper. So that crimper is actually it's the magical crimper. It's not a Softflex brand product, but it's definitely the one that they recommend. It's nice. It's definitely nice because it means you don't have to use a crimp cover and save that extra step. There's definitely that. It's definitely a plus if you can get the hang of it. If you're like me, I didn't quite have the patience to figure out the.
I was like very determined.
Yeah, because you were frustrated at first. I remember.
Part of the issue is also that my regular crimping pliers are so cheap they don't even have a brand name on them. That's not a brand name, it's just little schmutz. They're really old and they're terrible, and so I was like really excited to have a different pair of crimping pliers to use. And it's actually easier to put crimp covers on over the magically crimped crimps also.
That makes sense.
If you want, sometimes I'll do a crimp this way and then decide I want to cover on it. So they're really easy to put on over that. It's really easy to get them nice and even that way. Okay, so I strung my flowers on and my seed beads. And what I was talking about with the leaves is, I don't know if you can tell, maybe if I turn it this way, but one is going like this and one is going like the other way. Because they have a curve to them.
Yeah. Oh, that's such I really like that.
Yeah. I really wanted this bracelet to have a lot of movement.
I think that's yeah. I don't know if I would have noticed that until you pointed that out.
Right. The moment of truth. The hook and eye clasp is definitely a little easier for me to do, but
yeah, the only bracelet I can easily put on myself is one with a magnet.
Like a stretchy bracelet, I'm great at putting those on. Absolutely. I'm like
where's
an expert
May when
at
you need
connecting
him?
bracelets. He is at work. Okay, well, so this is like just at the
Even
size of
actually,
my
if you
wrist.
just hold it on your wrist, we could get a sense of how it lays.
Yeah.
So it
So it's
becomes
fun.
more.
It's a little tight on my wrist.
Yeah. So what does it look like loosened a bit there?
Yeah.
Oh, cute. So lots
It's like
of
they're fun to play with. Like, let me see.
Yeah, they look like little fidgets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that doesn't. I don't know why I thought that would work. It only has one hook end, but it does help me hold it a little easier. Yeah. So I'll just say, and it's so fun how they have like a mind of their own based on how your wrist is. Look at them flip back and forth. Okay.
Fun
So,
design. And this could lend well to a necklace, like a center of a necklace as well, I
oh, that
think.
would be so fun too. Yeah, I love jangly things. I love things I can play with.
Barbara's asking, where do you
Next.
get the crimpers? So you can get the magical crimper at Sam's Bead Shop. We have it in stock. We also have the Zuron crimpers we just got in, are lovely and my personal favorite right now. Makes more of the classic looking crimp, but a little bit easier just because it has such a big tooth to bite, like literally bite down on the crimp. It's basically the upgraded version of that blue pair that Rachel showed.
I've got to try those someday. Okay, so we're going to do the triangles now. Just pivoting. This is our fun technique class. So we're just going through a bunch of techniques. 1 second. Sorry. I did not get all the wire I needed out, of course.
I'm starting to play around. I'm making like a version of that bracelet right now in a different palette.
I'm pretty positive this is 26 gauge, but I'm just gonna double check. Yeah. Yup. I love digital calipers. For the longest time, I had a pair of, I don't know, would it be called analog or is that just for clocks?
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Somebody who knows about analog things, let me know. I had a pair of like vintage, do it yourself, figure out what the millimeters are ones, and I would have to use my brain too much every single time. I love the digital.
Yeah, listing beads got so much better the day I got my first digital caliper. I used to sit there with
it's also like
ruler.
it's more accurate. Like I could never tell you something is 5.3 millimeters with the other pair.
Yeah, literally not possible.
Okay. So I've put the wire through my hole and I've come up on both sides, and then I'm actually going to go through again. You could do just once. I like the look of it through a couple times, but you could totally do it right here and just finish it. Okay. What I love also is that the holes on these Dragon Bud Jasper pendants are there's such a good size to do this with.
Yeah, remember we didn't get them too tiny.
So it's really enough space to like make a veil or make whatever you want to make for them. I'm just pulling this tight. I can't always get the tightest tension with my fingers. And then I'm going to do a little bend in my longer wire, and I'm going to come around with the shorter one and just wrap it.
I think I've heard them called like manual calipers. I don't know if that's a technical term.
What's it called? Like, you know how we have like digital scales and then the one they use at the doctor's office where they like move the weights? What's that one called?
Oh, the one we use in science class. It's with all the...
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but that one's called like a triple beam balance, I think. And the one at the doctor is not called that.
The fact that you remember that, Rachel?
Chemistry was my jam, especially because I should have been in like AP chemistry and I didn't want to deal with that. So I was public enemy #1 in my chemistry class because I ruined the curve on every single test. People would be like, "Is there
You
a
were the
curve?"
curve.
And the teacher would be like, "No, somebody got 110." And they're like, "Who got 110?" And I'm just like sitting there quietly, and one of my best friends sat next to me, and they're like, "It was Rachel."
That's too funny. All right, so I was looking down my bracelet. So with this, I just want to catch up on this wire wrap where you started. Okay.
This is 26 gauge wire, and I wrapped it through there, and I just did a little wrap, and then I'm gonna come and make my wrap loop in a second. This is red brass wire, and also what was I gonna say? Oh, I do have a bracelet grabber that Kristen Hart was so kind as to make me. I think it's on the counter over there. But I am too inept to even use a bracelet grabber, so I cannot do it.
That's funny.
Luckily someone's usually home, otherwise I don't put bracelets on unless they're stretchy. So I'm just gonna make a wire wrap to loop now. And I like to do these a little bit chunky. You could do them not. This is a lot more wire than I was planning on using. But I love the look of them. It's just like a little bit thicker. And I think it also makes it easier for someone who maybe isn't as confident in their wire wraps. Having like a messy wrap, it looks really cool, and it's a great way to practice.
And what's your messy wrap one-liner?
Oh, if you are having trouble making it messy, just close your eyes.
Secede all control
Don't
over
look at
every
it.
wrap.
Look at something else. Look at your cat. Okay, and we're just gonna make like another little loop so that you could use this as a connector, since we do still have space in the hole. And I'll show you a fun little way that I like to wrap. This is really good on like different types of specialty cuts. I feel like when you get, what are those called, the like matched pair ones. You remember we got like a bunch from Bead Fest.
Oh yeah.
The match pair, what are those called?
Earring
They have a
pair?
hole in them. Yeah, I guess that's just what they're called. But a lot of the time this will be how they are up at the top. And so I have a fun little way I like to wrap that. So I'm just getting another piece of wire because we went a little overboard on our wrapping on the other side. I was just like, might as well use it all. We're here. So I'm gonna put my wire through. It's a little tight. There we go. All right. So I've got it through once. We're gonna go for 3 times. I don't know. I haven't actually tested this, so we might just do twice. That might be our limit.
Oh, how many times you can get the wire through the hole?
Yeah. I'm gonna cut
we're
this
using
off and I'll
26
show you
gauge.
the fun wrapping way though in a second. What'd you say?
And I'm surprised with 26 gauge it doesn't want to go in again.
I think it's the I actually don't know what it is. It looks like there's a lot of space. I'm just having trouble. But you could also totally use 28 gauge. I'm pushing. There we go. Do we think we'll get it in one more time? We're gonna try. All right. So what I'd like to do is I like to put a wrap on either side of the triangle top. So I've got one going on this side, and then I'm gonna go over here. I don't know if we're gonna get this in there.
Oh, this is all so you can add the loop to the bottom.
But I like to make it look fancy, and you can do the loop without making it look fancy, and that may be what we're about to do.
I think that might be. I'm curious how that would work.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to fit it through one more time. I'm going to loop my wire underneath the loop I just made, just to cut everything together so that it doesn't look like two separate strands. And then I'm going to take my little piece, come wrap over the top, and we'll make another loop, and then I'm going to show you the way I was trying to show you. I bet if I had used 28 gauge, I could have got it through.
I know, but no, most folks, their thinnest one is 24, some 26. So I think it's nice to see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think 24 is a pretty common standard.
28 gauge, half hard, epic, like epic.
You're just getting smaller and smaller on us.
Well, the problem is that I bought 28 gauge just to play with a long time ago, and then I used 26 gauge so much, and so I ran out, and then I started using the 28, and I'm like, okay, let's use this.
And do you like it?
Now, yeah, I like it. Depending on what you are using it for, I definitely think if you are new to working with that thin of a wire, you'd want to get German style or half hard. It's just a lot. The problem with once you get to the thinner gauges is that the wire is a lot more flexible, and therefore it's easier for it to do what you don't want it to do. Okay.
So much softer.
Yeah. So here's what I was trying to show you before. So we're going through once and twice. And I'm going to pull this so my loop is on one side of the point. And then I'm going to go through one more time. And I'm going to pull the loop on the other side of the point.
By the way, folks, we have more of these triangles in the shop if you are wanting to kind of try out more ways to wrap them.
They're so fun.
Because we only put, what, one piece in each? I think there's one piece in each box. So if you're wanting some more pieces to play around with, we do have some more, remember.
Okay. Sorry, I was just reading the comments, but they're all from like 5 minutes ago, so I'm good. Okay. And so I've got the wires on either side, so I think it just like makes it look a little bit fancier. And it also helps me to be able to center this a little bit easier. Although I bet you could totally fit like a jump ring or whatever through the hole while it's wrapped like it was before. Okay, there we go.
All right, Jesse's doing a good job in shouting out, because I haven't said it yet, that it's May 5th right now. So we're coming up on our next cutoff for the bead box. So if you're interested in joining us for Beadbox Fun in May, then you will need to get subscribed. We actually added some new slots for May, first time in quite a while. So if you're interested, you can go to samsbeadbox.com and you can use code VIP and the number 5 for $5 off your first month. So it'll knock it from $49 to $44 plus shipping. So definitely take advantage. May is so beautiful and such a like different theme, which I love, than April. I don't think we've shown it to you. I don't think you've seen it, right, Rachel?
Me?
Yeah, we didn't give you any.
Why would I have seen it?
I don't know. I was like, sometimes
if you want.
I was like, yeah, I don't think Rachel's seen it yet. Yeah, so definitely come join us, samsbeadbox.com. We would love to have you come join our Beadbox Club.
You did give me a spoiler, and I don't even remember what it was. So I couldn't even spoil it if I wanted to. So this is what that looks like after I've done like the little wrap loop on top. I think it looks a little fancier, I think, with the wires. But these would also be great for like a pinch bail.
Looks lovely.
Which I'm sure I have one of somewhere, but could I find it right now? Absolutely not.
Yeah, we have some pinch bails in the shop. I was just playing around with some today. They're actually quite nice on beads that are drilled like that. If you want a nice quick pendant that has a nice finishing touch at the top, it works great for any pendant that has that front drilled hole. Which we had a lot of those on yesterday's sale. All right, what's up? We've gone through the bracelet idea. We've shown the wrapping technique of the triangle. What is up next, Rachel?
So next, the long-awaited donut wrapping. I devised my own little way to do it. I really liked how it looked half done, but you could absolutely go all the way around. So this is 0.008 inch fireline or wildfire. What's the difference between wildfire and fireline?
They're different.
I thought I had both, but I think I just have wildfire.
This is the one that's made by Bead. We actually I think Rachel just got in some fireline that'll be in the shop soon. Because I know a lot of folks really like fireline as well. There's definitely every beading thread has its differences, so everyone comes up with their own preferences for it.
I like this because I feel like with some threads and I'm more of like a beginner seed beater. I'm kind of more of a do whatever I want seed beater. I know, like, I could totally sew this together. Like, but the problem I think is also that I have a sewing background, so I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna sew this. Like, it's just sewing to me. It's not like a stitch. Like, it's just I'm just like make it work. So.
Okay, Tim. Good.
Yeah, I've actually been watching. Have you seen Next in Fashion, which is like Netflix's version of Project Runway? I'm putting a needle on both ends, by the way. Because that's how I roll. Anyway, so yeah, Next in Fashion on Netflix. I'm actually really enjoying it. I didn't love the one. So Tim and Heidi had gone to Amazon and they were doing. Sorry, I'm having difficulty seeing the hole. Not that anyone could relate. And to do a show on Amazon. I don't remember what it's called, but I did not like it as much.
There was a show on it. I heard about that one.
It's probably still running. I don't know. It was. I liked Project Runway because I felt like the ideas were more fun. I really like the avant-garde designs that they had and a lot of challenges, and it's a lot harder to do. Like the Amazon version that they had done was a lot more ready to wear and focused on production, which is like nice, but at the same time, I like the ingenuity and the innovation.
I just remember the challenges on Project Runway being like it was wild. Just like, here's a trash can, have fun, have at it.
Here's a trash can, a lighter. That's all you get. They also do. They don't make the show anymore, but there's a show on HGTV called Design Star, and it was similar to Project Runway. I was trying to see if I could fit both needles through the bead at the same time because I did not do it that way last time. But I was like, wouldn't it be cool? But I'm not able to do that. So this is just how I started it off. I could probably do like an anchor bead, but this was kind of my way of doing an anchor bead. All right, so I've got it like that, and then I am going to take one of my little bead stoppers And I am going to put it on here. And this, the thread is, I folded it in half. So I have half of it on each side. I love these little bead stoppers. This, I think you had some on your website. These are like the teeny tiny ones from Softflex. They were on clearance, and I absolutely love them. And I hope that they were on clearance just for fun and not because they're getting rid of them, because I love them. So I'm stringing on another bead.
I don't know. I haven't had those in the shop for a while, but I love any sort of bead stoppers. So helpful.
So I'm going to go through the hole on the donut and come up through the bead. So you want to make sure that the bead is going to be going side by side. And it's going to be loose for like a couple stitches, but you just keep tightening it. All right, so I just pull it real
this
tight.
is a variation on a brick stitch, because I think when I've seen Danielle start hers, like she'll start with a knot also to get it instead of the stopper. But seems like you're intentionally keeping.
I liked it this way because I when I seed bead, I do it really strangely, and I leave tails everywhere and then like weave them back in. Like I think a lot of people would like cut it and like tuck it, but I leave like I'll have like 6 tails hanging out, and then I fix them all at the end.
Yeah,
I don't ever work in like a way that, well, I sometimes work in a way that makes sense, but I feel like a lot of the time I do not work in a way that makes sense. But it also gives me a lot of flexibility. So I'm just doing this over and over. And
will you walk us through the steps of it a few times?
Yeah, absolutely. I am trying to get to a point to where it's a little bit easier to see because the bead stopper is kind of in the way. But so I'm putting a bead on, and then I'm gonna go through my donut. It doesn't matter which direction you go in. It appears today that I like to go in through the back, so that's what we're doing. And then I'm going to come, so this is what my bead looks like on the string. And I'm going to come back through this way of the bead. Okay. And then pull it tight. When I cut my beading cord, I usually cut it, what was I gonna say? I usually cut it like an arm's length, just because that's the amount I like to work with, unless I'm following a tutorial by someone amazing like Danielle, that tells me a specific amount to use. I have no concept of how to gauge it. I'm like, I'd rather just have way too much. That's my that's my philosophy. I would rather have extra, and then I can do whatever I want. Like,
yeah.
Or I can weave it in and get a new strand. So we're going to do that again. Got another bead. And I'm going to go through. Oops, got it stuck in my cords. And pulling it tight. Okay. And I'm going to do maybe like 2 more, and then we'll go to the other side. What time is it?
We're coming up on the hour.
Okay.
Or I've been experimenting on over here, playing around with the first technique we did. So once we're at a pause point, I'm going to show folks this bracelet.
Ooh, I'm excited. Yeah, Jesse does. I'm reading Jesse's comment right now where he's saying it's a lot easier to cut off extra than to add on more later or have to start over, because he does macrame, and I can't even imagine trying to weave another thread through. So Lori, I am through the top of the bead right now. I am stringing on another bead. and then I'm coming here from the back to the front, or vice versa. So I'm coming through the donut, and then I'm going to put my needle through the bead in this direction. So almost like if I was going to sew them together this way, but I'm not. I'm just coming through the top bead. And then you'll want to pull and adjust to here. I did notice with this technique that you'll want to do at least half of the donut to get the beads to really sit nicely. Because otherwise there's a lot of room for them to move around, and we're going to put more thread through, so it wouldn't be quite this flexible, but I think it just sits a lot better if you do half of the donut.
Oh yeah, that is something with the donuts, because they don't have the flat side to them. Because then when Danielle does the brick stitch, she always like is looking out for beads that have like a flat rim to them.
Yeah, I really wanted the beads to be on the donut like this, and I think I told you I had used wire, and I did really like the look of the wire, but it made the hole, it just took up too much space for all of the things I wanted to put through the center of the donut. Because of course I've got to make like 3 strand this, 2 strand this, and then try to fit wire through there. Not gonna happen. Okay, so now we are actually going to, I'm just going to reinforce this side, and then we can move on the other side. So I'm just going to bring this back through here. This is the bead next to it.
You guys, you could add more rows to that.
Oh yeah, I add more to the other side, because that's what I had just done it in half like this. Yeah, I don't know why. That's just the way my brain works.
Wait, you did start a second row on the other one? I didn't. There's a second row on the other one?
What do you mean a second row?
You can like split, because of the thread bridges on the that you've created. You can do the same, like because this is a brick stitch. You can do the same. You can add like a second row of the black beads.
So put them like here. That would be cool. Oh my gosh.
I'll send you Danielle's brick stitch class, so you can, because she shows how.
Yeah, you're talking about the
not there. Not there.
Not there.
It goes on top of the. I'll send you the. I'll send it to you.
Up here.
Yeah, you do the same technique onto the bridge.
Brick stitch is the one stitch that I really actually do know what it is. So.
Okay. I didn't know where we're at.
I do understand the brick stitch. Okay. And so I've gone through this bead again, and I'm coming up. But this really needs to be, before you add a second row or whatever, it really needs to be
reinforced here.
Done at least half of the way, and then also reinforced, because like Sam said, the edge of this is curved. It's not flat. So it really has to be reinforced.
Which thread paths are you following? Can you show us again to reinforce?
So I stopped here, and then I started going in the other direction. So I'm up through this bead right here, and I'm gonna go down through this bead next to it. We're just going in the opposite direction toward our bead stopper. And I'm going back through, and then I'm gonna go. This is the trickiest part. Actually, let's see. I'm back through the hole. There we go. My hands are like very shaky today for some reason. It's like they're like, oh, you shouldn't have tried seat beading today. That was not.
Do you reinforce? Do you go back through and reinforce the whole every stitch?
You can do however much you want. I just go through it to a point to where I feel like the thread isn't going anywhere. I think I did. I didn't do every single one on this one. I did just mostly the outside ones. It's really up to you. It's really up to like the look you're going for. I think it would be so cool, like you were saying them, even though this is not what you were saying, but if we put like the beads like right here too, that would be epic. I want to play with that. That sounds so fun. Look at that.
What's your preference of knotting the end of your thread versus weaving in?
So, I follow the teachings of Grandmaster Danielle, and I weave in. However, a lot of the time, I weave in too many times and break beads. But I like the weaving in because I can feel like the tension. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is not going anywhere. And also, I do not have a thread zapper. I have a lighter. And actually, when I was making this piece, I was done. I was completely done. And I went to just burn the little edge of my thread on here. And it burned all of them. And then I had to redo it. So weaving in is definitely my preference if you can. Or get a legitimate thread zapper and don't just use like a little Bic lighter because you will melt things. And you'll be mad. So
yeah, if we're at the hour now, so I was curious. You mentioned you wanted to show how like a kind of an option wire. Could we jump to that maybe?
Yeah, especially because I just did something crazy and I'm gonna have to undo that. So, so were you wanting to see the wrapped around with wire, or were you wanting to just see how I would make the donuts connect with wire?
I would leave it to you to show. I would leave it to you.
Okay.
How would you work with your donut from the box? I want to make sure we had a chance to touch on that.
Yeah. So
if you were using wire.
If I was using wire, I don't know why I'm taking these off because I'm not going to use that right now. I would get some. What do I have out right now? You can really use like whatever gauge you want. I'm gonna use 24, except for this is not 24. Where did it's over here. I like 24, 22 would be really good. You could do 20. Honestly, you could even do 18 with this technique. It's really how you want it to look. Let's cut a piece. And then this would be basically how we did the triangles. So I'm coming through. And then, so I've been through once and I have this little tail. I'm going to go through another time, but I'm going to go on the other side of the tail just so that it's kind of centered when we go to wrap things. And you could do this a bunch of times if you wanted. If you wanted like a really big built up wire look, you can just keep going back and forth. I really liked you had done, it was like crisscross looking. I'm trying to do that now. It looked like you had like like that. Oh, looks so cool.
I would never was able to like get mine to replicate that well. That's why I was like, I'm gonna let you try to figure this one out.
So this is what I would do. There's a lot more ways that you could wrap a donut, and we'll definitely have to do. I'll have to do some more experimenting. Maybe we can have another donut
party
project. Yeah, a donut party. And so I'm just wrapping this, and I'm going to make this a little messy too, because I think the large wrap really does look good next to the donut because it's so big. But if you were using like 18 gauge, you probably wouldn't need to wrap it as much. Lori says, donut class, please.
Because I had fun. I'll flip my camera around in a second to show that I found that donut necklace. There's so I just love it.
I love
the potential with donuts.
It's so pretty. It's funny because I'm not usually a red jasper person, and I saw that necklace and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's insane. Awesome. So this is what I would probably do. I love how the wraps look. I love this color actually with the red.
Okay, key difference you did was the wire gauge. That's it.
Yeah, you really could use whatever gauge you want. I do like something a little bit sturdier. I don't know that I would do like 26.
this was like, I don't know, this was probably like 20, 22.
Yeah, you could totally use 20. It looks great.
But like that's why I had such a hard time getting them to like kind of sit how I wanted.
Yeah.
But like for you,
Yeah,
you're able to
if
get
I
things
was
a lot
using
tighter.
a bigger gauge for that, you definitely would want to probably tug on it with your pliers. You can get a lot more. There's no oil on the tips of your pliers like there is on your fingers, so it's a lot easier to pull things tight with your pliers.
Because basically what Rachel just showed is how you can make this necklace. All it is I did the same thing on either side and then connected each with a jump ring. That's all the technique is. So follow exactly what Rachel just showed. Until you can construct something more like this.
Yeah, that's
But
so fun. I
Rachel
love.
did.
Wait. Show. I love what you did on the other. I don't. Yeah, that looks so good. What is that? Is that Lodolite?
No, it's literally just like a piece of green like cherry quartz, which is glass.
Oh, okay.
We had it in the shop a few weeks ago. I wish I did on both sides because literally it's just making wire wrap loops and then coming back around basically.
Did you also do that with 20 gauge?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay.
I'm now wanting to start trying out some of these thinner gauges again because like, you get limited because it takes up so much space. Like each thing just takes up more space.
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of
I work
thicker.
with the thinner gauges a lot because I like the security of wrap loops, and I also work with a lot of tiny beads. So.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Oh yeah, I did this one with one of the.
I keep meaning to try that, and then I forget. I love that.
It's so fun. I love the beaded clasps.
Show us what you were working on.
Yeah, so Rachel started class showing a bracelet design idea, and then I had like the bead mix from Monday with Sarah. Well, first I had a giant pile of moonstone, and that was, and I was like, no, wait, hold on. I already have a bead mix ready for me here, and so I was able to use up a lot of the beads. It was like an earring pairs pack we did on Tuesday.
I love that color palette.
Oh, I love it so much. And so we did all greens and purples, perfect for spring. And then I just paired it with some of the tube itself. These are the Terra Intensives, which I have like every color in. We can get these at the shop.
Wait, what did you call them?
They're like this crazy deep color that Preciosa came out with. So you can get these at the shop. We sell these.
Yeah, those are very opaque.
So they come in a whole range of colors. So like now that spring's come back around, I feel like these are about to have their moment again. You can get the whole line of them. I keep saying
I want to try. Oh, I've got to show you what I did on this necklace I'm wearing. And if people have questions about it, we could totally do it for another class. But I was saying to you the other day, I don't know if you remember, I was like, I want some, this was like last week, I want some 15, what's the size again? 015? 15-0?
You want 15-0.
Yeah. Because I wanted to try out this crimping technique that I'm going to say I came up with. I'm sure somebody's done it before. But look. It's not focusing. What I did was I put the crimp on, and then I strung beads on, and then I went back through the crimp, and then I crimped it, and look, like the little loop is all beaded.
I love that.
So
you do with little gemmies there?
Yeah, so I've got emeralds, pyrite, and spinel. I have it
Beautiful.
on. I did it down here too.
Oh, that's amazing. I see lots of gemmies from the shop in there.
Yes, probably.
I think a lot of them I recognize.
I know the emeralds are from you. The pirates are from you.
These
emeralds, Nishi, I think, are from you.
I think
I don't know where I got these emeralds from. Maybe from you. These I probably got from you.
I just want to shout out this bead mix. If you guys want it, we still have some available on this. If you go to the website, samsbeadshop.com, or on the app. Everything's in pairs because it was geared towards making earrings, but it also kind of was nice to be able to make a symmetrical bracelet. And I still have one more of these focals I could use. We did the live with Sarah, showed how to make 4 different pairs of earrings. using all the beads in the mix, which was fun. Yeah, so there's hopefully lots of inspiration. Let me put my camera back around. As we head into the weekend, I was and
it's me, Mario.
So I hope you can take at least like some pieces of that, folks, since we did the bracelet idea and some just playing around with wrapping different shapes. Rachel showed the wrapping of the triangle and the donut in a couple different ways.
I love a good wrapping challenge.
Yeah, and you can kind of notice that they're all based around similar base concepts. So like once you feel pretty comfortable with your wrap loops, they're all essentially trying to achieve the same thing, but you have to get a little crafty with it. So I hope maybe as we head into the weekend, a little extra experimentation. There's a challenge going on in Gem Chat. Do you want to talk about Shira's challenge?
Do I want to talk about?
I can talk about it too.
It is my challenge. Let me look up what the next day is.
So while Rachel's looking up, Shira came up with this whole Make It in May challenge in Gem Chat, where she has a prompt for 6 of the 7 days of the week. So that on Sunday you can reset your beading desk or start prepping for the week. And so you don't have to do every day. You could pick your favorite days. We just did Luscious Labs. What's today's?
Sam, do you know what today is?
No.
It's Capri, not Capri.
Or
it's the other way around. I'm not quite sure. It's spelled the same, and I don't know which is the right way to say it.
That's so funny.
And tomorrow is Simple and Quick, so everyone could totally come up with that. Apparently, we have Sundays off.
We do.
So
that's Shira's
get ahead
for
for the
reset
next
day. Yeah. That's so funny. I hadn't seen that in today's challenge yet. Oh my god, where
else is funny? There's one called Chip Chip Hooray. I didn't actually read all of these. Let's see. AB seed beads.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, we did so much beading that I almost didn't do the last piece of today's class.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm so glad you guys are still here because we have a grand finale. Oh my god. Folks have been waiting for so long because of me. Thank you for your patience because I finally am here to announce the winners of the Tucson challenge, our very first Tucson challenge. What do you say?
There's more than one winner?
There is. So we picked a top 3 and then there was a tie for third. So I have 4 winners I'm about to show. Mm-hmm. So we released this kit ahead of Tucson and then folks submitted basically through March and the whole team here at the office voted on it. So let's see if I can share. Should I have the right one pulled up here? Should I start in third place? I'll start in third. We have a tie for third place. You guys ready? Folks have been waiting forever for this. And our winners are amazing. By the way, we had so many amazing entries. These are just like 4 of the fabulous entries. First is Elvira Diaz Ocampo. And I love that I really felt like she embraced the theme here, especially with like the earrings. She brought in some of the bird charms from her stash and it matched the bird that we included. And I just thought it was such a lovely design. And then look, there's a little bonus ring down there. So that was a fabulous entry with lots of great texture and just like took advantage of the theme. So that is our tie for third with I believe it's Joanne, if not Joan, Joanne Hansen. So cool how she did the herringbone technique on the coin pendant.
I love how she did the focals and she made that look like a little mushroom. It is so cute.
I know, isn't this all amazing? Every little detail is perfect. And then she left her head pins long here, which is now something I have to try. It's like how you can leave like soft flex exposed. Like why don't we leave our wire exposed? Mm-hmm. So there's so much ingenuity in this piece, and I love the brightness of it too. Felt like something you would totally wear to a Tucson party. So she also is in third place we had so many entries. So these are it's very hard to pick. Which brings me to our second place winner was Misty with this beautifully seed beaded piece. I could not believe
So
just the
good.
extent of this piece. So she features the silver seed beads that we included in the box and really used possibly all of the beads, because we had the Amazonite, table cuts, flowers. Like she just really used the palette and then mixed in a little bit of some red seed beads and some blue seed beads as well from her stash. So that was such an amazing entry. So congratulations, Misty. Which brings me to, I can't do, I'm not ready.
I feel
It's
like
so
I know
pretty.
which one is gonna be number one.
Have you seen it? I think it was, she did post her, because folks have posted their pieces in Gem Chat, and I think she did post her piece in Gem Chat.
Yes. Oh, it was
This is
so
Marika's incredible piece.
I
So
love it. I was actually like a little inspired when I was wrapping my donut by her.
because
What she did on the class is so cool.
I love the rows of brick stitch on the clasp. Like that is, I don't think I've ever seen that before, and now we all have to try that. And she also did a similar brick stitching around the focal, the sun focal, and then just every single element. I love how it all just comes together in the flow of the dangles and just like everything. There's so much. Oh, I love the red goes into the apatite here. Just so much I love about this piece.
So good.
And then, and if that wasn't enough, she also has these asymmetrical earrings. Again, with these cool connectors she added in, and lots of stacking of texture. Is such a cool, just like even more ideas. I'm very curious what stitching she's doing here on the earrings. So congratulations to our first place winner. All the names are here at the top. This is Marika Latham. We're going to post all 4 of these photos. Jesse, have you already posted all of the entries? Did you already post that album? I feel like he did. So we're going to go ahead and post
I feel
these
like I
top
looked
4.
through an album.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just took me a while to get all the votes organized and everything. So we'll post the 4 winners and try to get these up onto the website, because we currently have the winners from the last competition up there. So now we get to this is our second ever competition. We'll get these guys up there. Thank you everyone for participating in the challenge. It was just so amazing to see the talent and just creativity. I love that folks really embraced this competition, and it's what makes this community so special. So just feeling very thankful for all of you for really joining in and sharing all this inspiration. I don't think I've met Marika, so Marika, I'm gonna have to reach out to you, and I would love to meet you. So with that, we have come to the end. It is Friday night, y'all. It is time to start the weekend. I hope we've inspired you. Come join in on the challenge in Gem Chat. I can't believe today's challenge is totally poking fun at me. That is truly amazing. I love Shadow so very much. Oh my gosh, if I had more hours in this day, I would go bring a whole pile of Capri to Shire right now. But I think the families can go see a concert in the city tonight. You have any fun plans coming up, Rachel? You have a lot of shows coming up.
I do. That's mostly my plans for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I hope they go really well. Guys,
thing.
go check out Rachel's shows in the Rainbow Gems group and join Rachel's email list. Which links do I have in this post? Let me check here. I put in Rachel's Facebook group, her website, and her Instagram. So go follow her and find on her website. You can join her email list. That's probably the easiest way to get to that. Everyone, thank you so much for watching and for participating in the challenge. We will see you on Tuesday. Bye, Rachel.